Yo, what's up? I'm at my barber. Say what up,
What up,
James.
man? What
Yeah,
up?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Always a pleasure to have this boy in the house.
Yep, yep. So, all right. So the question that I wanted to ask James today is, since barbering is his art, what does barbering do for him, and how he expresses himself, and why does he continue to push that art into like his lifestyle, and what lessons has he learned from that?
So to start off with, for me, at first I kind of started barbering as a way to something new, right? So I started barbering and it was something new to me. It was something that was kind of interesting, but also a way to, like we were talking about, express myself, right? So I was able to take, instead of picking up a spray paint can or something like that, I was able for me to interact, be a personable person, and also, be creative and create something that is lasting. Create a relationship with the person, create something that I'm proud of, right? And I feel like in society these days, and I know you will probably agree with me, is that there's such a lack of passion, there's such a lack of focus, there's such a lack of like people being really passionate for themselves versus for somebody or for social media, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's almost as if like the intentions behind what they think they're doing something isn't really in the right place.
Bingo.
So like the moment they hit a wall, or the moment something gets hard, they quit and they wonder why they're not as good, or they wonder why they're not getting somewhere because they've been brought up to believe a certain way, if that makes sense.
100% it does. And going along this journey, meeting people like yourself and meeting different barbers and different perspectives, whether they're good or bad, and just reading and educating myself in life has played over into barbering because, like I said, first and foremost, I think creativity is a key to life. If you're not being creative in what you do, whether it be photography, whether it be b-boying, whether it be lifting weights, if there's not an intricate way, like I'm gonna use James for example, right? He loves powerlifting, so he spreads the word about powerlifting. He posts technique videos, he posts things that are helpful to people, but also that can educate him in the future because he's looking at what he's doing and he's trying to advance those around him. But in a sense, creativity is what keeps you alive, keeps you driven, keeps you going towards other things. Like let's look at like Apple, or like let's look at PC, stuff like that. Those bigger companies, every year they have to better their best, right? They have to come out with something new, something innovative, something that people are looking for. We have to apply that to ourselves too. We also need to constantly be elevated.
I totally agree with that. That's honestly one of the reasons why like I love coaching, because I feel like if you can recreate your results to someone else, right, then you've elevated not just your physicality, because I feel like anybody can work out, right? You can level up your physicality by yourself and understand how you work, but how much more difficult is it for you to do that to someone else?
True.
How do you level up your craft so much that you can make whatever it is that you did for yourself work for somebody who don't even know a thing about the gym? Does that make sense?
100%.
And you can make them love it just as much as you, and have them crave the results and the lifestyle just as much as you. I feel like that is the ultimate test of when you get so good at what you do, and then you start just applying that concept to life versus powerlifting now. That's why like I kind of tell people, like, I just don't want to be known as James the Moan powerlifter anymore, because I feel like it's more of just life. It's like once you learn to understand life, now you just apply it to different things in life. So like dance, for example, I just apply me, James Vane, into dance, and then that's what you see. I apply James Vane, me, into powerlifting, and that's what you see.
But you're also constantly working on yourself too,
sure.
And that's what a lot of people fall short on, right? Mm-hmm. People think that it's. I heard a great example from a book the other day, and it says people want things to be from the outside in, but it's the other way around. Everything starts from the inside out. You know, you got to work on who you are as a person, what you stand for as a person, know your morals, know your values, know why I'm barbering, know why you b-boy, know why you powerlift, so that you can spread the love and spread the word and spread the passion to someone else and really make them feel it. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between people who are just out here teaching things for money and people who are out teaching things to change lives. You know what I mean? They're actually passionate and dive into what they do versus just looking on the outside like they're trying to do good for somebody, and then when they go, they're talking smack, or they're doing, you know, things that they shouldn't be doing behind closed doors. You know, and to each his own. I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I'm saying, you know, it comes down to the outside in approach. You know, you really need to work on, or inside out. You got to work on your inside so that you can be better for those around you.
Man, I love that concept, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody and their brother wants to look good, but no one wants to be up at 4 a.m. when they need to be up, or no one wants to be meditating when they could be watching YouTube, or no one wants to be doing this when they could really be working on themselves. You know what I mean? And I'm guilty of it as well. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I know enough to admit that I need to work on it more.
And I think a lot of it is just being aware of yourself, you know, and I think there's nothing wrong with understanding what level you're at, you know, and being very critical of who you are and what your goals are and what you want to accomplish. Yeah, being honest, right?
Too many people are afraid to be like, oh yeah, I'm not good at that. Bro, the minute you admit that you're not good is when you really start to excel and get better.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's why, like, I tell a lot of people, you know, it's not always about PR. I feel like I've been getting weaker, but I feel like I've been getting better as a lifter. Why? You know, it's not like I'm hitting any new PRs or anything, but what I'm doing is I'm learning.
Lifting is beyond PRs, though. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah.
Lifting is beyond PRs. Barbering is beyond, you know, the best haircuts are out there. There's days where I come in here and I'm like, damn, my craft is, I'm slacking. But in reality, it's because my mindset, I've let my mind drift away from the point of what I'm trying to do. You know?
Yeah. And then you express yourself through your art, I guess, right?
100%, bro. Everything about what I am is a collective of things that I've learned, the way I've seen people cut, the graffiti I love, the b-boying I love, the style of music that I love, and I kind of just take what I like and listen. The key word there is listening to what you want, right? You tell me through the consultation, I ask you, okay, do you want this off, do you want this off, do you want that off? And I'm forming in my head, even if you're a first-time client, I'm forming, okay, how can I make this my own but give you what you're looking for with my own twist? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I make this my own but still do what you're asking me to do? And it's like that's what it comes down to, creativity, because yeah, people say, oh, you know, you might cut long, you might do this, you do that, but every time someone gets out of my chair, I mean, not every time, there's some people who don't like the cuts, and you know, not as of recent, but that's just because, you know, the people who don't like you, I'm not here to cut everybody. I'm here to cut those that I want to cut and who want to come to get cut by me. You know what I mean? I'm not out here to cut everybody because I can't do it. I don't have enough arms. I don't have enough legs. I don't have enough time in the day to cut everybody. So I'm here to cut those who want to come to me. And it's like, people are afraid to hear that rejection, but I love asking my clients, hey, how can I do better? Even you, every time I cut your hair, I know you like it, and I know you love it, but I want to know, hey, is there any way I can improve? Is there any way I can get better? Is there anywhere that you see me slacking so I can keep myself accountable? And that's what it comes down to, is self-accountability. You need to be able to do that.
Great, dude.
Just like what you said, yeah, your PRs might be slipping, but you're noticing in other areas of that you're excelling at, right?
Yeah, because it's not like I didn't hit any recent PRs, right? But I was able to hit my PRs while maintaining a high level at other aspects of my life versus before, where I was only high level at lifting and then everywhere else kind of like fell to shambles. So it's almost one of those things where I feel like, because now, like, I'm, again, you know, if I'm dancing to a higher level while I'm still hitting the same lifts or the PRs, right? That's a PR in itself, right? You're 100%. Growing. And why, how am I growing? I'm spending time with myself in the way that I express myself and how I release those emotions, you know? And I feel like when you can find what it is that you love, right? That you can express yourself, you will just know. Because, you know, a lot of people always ask me, hey, if I was to train you as a Olympic weightlifter for free, or if I was to train you as a UFC fighter, would you do it? You know, because I think you have a lot of great potential. Your mindset is perfect for that. And I would say no, I can't, you know, and they'll say, why? Because you have the grit. Like, I see you lift weights. I see you dance. You have the skill, you have the mindset, their training ethic.
Mobility,
yeah, mobility. You do everything already. You make the perfect athlete for this. And I'm like, but there's one big element that you're forgetting, you know, and I think that, and yeah, it's passion. If someone was to punch my face, that's going to feel different from me squatting 700 pounds, you know, for damn sure, right? But people keep forgetting that I did not become the person that you see now because of UFC. I became the person that you see now that you want to go to UFC or want to take on for Olympic weightlifting or want to take on for these things because of powerlifting. And I feel like, you know, when people start looking at it just from a competition or athletics perspective, they're missing the point of why I'm good. The reason why I'm good is because I'm passionate and I love to express myself through lifting weights or through dance.
100%, bro.
And the reason why you think I'm really good is just because I'm always just trying to get better at what I love to do. I honestly still feel like I'm an amateur, just overall in general.
But see, that's why you excel though, bro, because every person, one of the greatest barbers I know, his name is Mo Cooter. I mean, there's a bunch of other ones too. But, you know, he tells me, man, we loved his haircuts even back in school. And he cuts, like, we didn't even know this for the longest time, but he cuts, like, Bulls players and, you know, people like that, which we in society hold them to high esteem if a barber cuts them because we say, oh, they're so good. Yep. Well, he doesn't think he's good. And he taught me a lot of things for, like, some quote-unquote higher-name people that I cut to, you know, to say, like, bro, yeah, you may think my haircuts are good, but me personally, I think they're bad. You know, I think that I still have a long way to go. I still think there's a lot of, you know, steps to take before I can reach that next level. And even once these people and us included in this reach those levels, we always strive for more. It's still not enough.
Sure.
I know when I reach a good haircut, I'm trying to, okay, how can I make this area that I failed at better? How can I do this differently? Or how can I do this more clean? Or how can I spend time with caring more about my clients versus caring more about myself?
Yeah, then you start investing into yourself, right? Because you know,
always investing into ourselves.
Because, you know, I used to get haircuts from, like, my mom, or I might just used to get haircuts by myself, you know, and the cut wasn't bad, don't get me wrong. I love getting haircuts from my mom just because I can spend that one-on-one time with her, you know. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, you know, she is starting to get a little, you know, I guess, older, and I kind of don't want to bother her as much anymore. When I saw you, for the first time when I got a haircut by you, the first thing I noticed that was unique about you was like you had 3 or 4 different buzzers. I'm like, what the hell you need 3 or 4 different buzzers?
You were back in my experimental stage.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was sitting on your chair.
This was
you had like 4 or 5 fucking buzzers, and I'm like, dude, my mom only uses 1. I'm like, why do you need 1 for this one and that one? You know, and I'm like, whoa, there's way more to this barbering stuff than I thought. You know, just because I always just thought it was a cut. You know.
Well, it's a deeper form of thought too, because right when I said that, you sat back and I remember you looked at me. You said, "Wow, like you really know, you know, like you know more about what you're doing than most." And it's like, well, just for you to say that lets me know that you're a deeper individual as well, because you're seeking more knowledge or you're seeking understanding of someone else's craft and someone else's passion.
Yeah, because I mean, it's all kind of the same, you know. But I know I won't ever dab into barbering. But it's still that's what inspires me to learn more about it, though, because. Yeah. You're just doing the same thing I'm doing, but just in a different field, right?
Yeah.
No, but that's why, like, I'm like, okay, so you invested into yourself, right? You bought more equipment because you wanted to get better. Like, it doesn't matter how much, if you have one equipment or not, you know, just the fact that you're willing to buy it, experiment with it, and see why you'd rather use this buzzer over another buzzer at a certain time or with different hairs or different heads.
But one thing I want to stress with that being said is and James knows this, but I just always like to touch on this fact, but it's not about what equipment you have, it's about how you utilize the equipment, it's about how you utilize the time and energy you have for yourself. You know, it's not about having the best clipper. You know, back then I did waste a lot of money on clippers, but I wouldn't say wasting. You know, I'm learning from buying these clippers, but the more time I spend, the more valuable it was for me to watch these YouTube videos, to give away free haircuts, right? Invest in myself by giving away free haircuts. Like, hey, I'll give haircuts free this weekend just for anybody who wants to come through and get a bald fade or a brush fade or a design. You know, people who are willing to go out on a limb for me because it's an investment, right? I'm
Yep.
basically saying, well, right now it's not going to cost anything, but eventually it's going to come to the point where it's worth something to them and to me. You know what I mean? So it's about reading and investing your time and energy, not just investing your money, right? Money is an important thing, but any person who has anything in this world and knows about investing is going to tell you, and you know this too, but for the people who are going to watch this, is they're going to tell you, okay, if you have $1,000 or you have $10,000, put a money. If you have that $1,000, invest that $1,000 in some reading material that you want to learn about. Invest it in some courses. Invest it in something that's going to benefit you, but do your research before you do it, so that the information you're taking in isn't just a bunch of BS biased stuff. You know what I'm saying? Learn from somebody that you want to emulate.
Damn. You been hanging out with Bruce Lee?
I wish.
No, I totally agree. And that's your passion, right?
100%, bro.
Love or hate, you know, through rain or shine, you're willing to figure out what it is that's going to take you to the next level through what it is that you love. And that's why investing into things that you may not use anymore wasn't technically a bad thing, even though you failed.
Because I learned.
Because you learned from it.
I learned, okay, this
You
is
failed, but you didn't quit, right? And that's what I tell a lot of people why I powerlift. You know, most people ask me like, why am I such an idiot? Why would you powerlift, spend all that money, you know, like maybe $300-400 on like hotels and food for that weekend, right? And then you spend like $100 to $200 or so to register, you know, membership and all that, and you're wasting like $500-600, right?
Well, they look at it as wasting.
Yeah, just to get a $5 medal, but
look at these people who are saying that though, James.
Exactly.
These people are spending $100, $200, $300 on Jordans or some Yeezy or some Supreme shit that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So I tell a lot of people that the reason why I spend $500-600 and it's worth it is because when I go to a competition, you know, it's not just about, you know, going to lift weights and I'm losing money, or going to lift weights trying to make money, you know. When I go there, I meet people who also have the same passion as me. Now I know that the people who are here aren't really fake people. No matter what you do, the people that show up at a competition, you gotta respect them, because it takes a lot of balls to show up at a competition. It takes a lot of balls to step on a platform and put yourself out there and showcase how good or bad your technique is, or how inexperienced or experienced you are as a lifter, you know. And you get to all these people in the crowd and the internet and all these who's gonna judge you for your lifts and your style, or, you know, the things that you say and the things that you do at a meet, right?
Personable shit, you know?
So I feel like they're missing the whole aspect of why a competition is good.
Well, and the beauty of it too is, James, is when you go to these, I'm not trying to step on you, but it came into my mind.
No, you can.
But is that when you go to these competitions, even if you quote unquote fail, I like to call failure learning. You know
Yeah.
Failure is not a
fail, but just never quit. You know, just never quit.
But the thing is that these people, when you go to these competitions, you personally, even if you're quote unquote failing, people there aren't gonna laugh at you. They're not gonna point at you. They're gonna see the amount of effort you put into it, and the amount of time and energy and how much passion you have for it, and they're gonna come over to you and say, "Hey, I can either help you," or they're gonna sit there and mind their own business because they're jealous of the stuff that you've done to achieve it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and honestly, that's 100% correct, because, you know, I've met some of my best friends in powerlifting because of just that. You know, people know, like, just because you're not the strongest guy now, they see you work it, you know, and the people who
the first meet I saw you,
so like, you know, my folks, you know, like Team Quest, I mean, I love those guys. They're literally my brother. I'll give my shirt off for them, you know, just like the way they do for me. You know, and I got their backs just like the way they got my back, you know, and these are people, and these are just people that you met through powerlifting, and they just get you. You know, it doesn't even matter. Like, they don't understand anything that I do for breaking, but they understand that break dancing comes with James Vang, who fucking lifts weights with them. You know what I mean? And they just love that, and I love that about them too, you know?
Well, see, that's the beauty of life, sharing. Sharing perspective, sharing ideas, sharing passions, and helps put to your passion.
And when you spend $500-600 on that, you come back with a $5 medal or a participation ticket. Yeah, for some people it might not be worth it, because, you know, maybe in life money is all that they look for, you know. But when I spend $500 to figure out what it is that makes me a man, or what it is that makes me do this, or what makes me want to get better than before, like you said, this is where meeting people comes into play. You know, that was $600 for me to find out what I need to do to be stronger. And I'm willing to pay $500, $600 to figure out what I need to do to get stronger. That's just an investment in me and the knowledge and the base that I want to build to become better. And that's how I express myself every single time I step on the platform. I want people to know, like, I've gotten better, that I've gotten better. You know, that's the thought that I try to express when I powerlift. I don't want to be weak anymore. I want to be strong because, you know, all my life, it's always been that small, skinny mind perspective. And it's always going to be that. That's why I don't keep any of my gold medals, you know?
Yeah, I got one.
You keep your gold medals, or you keep all the successful medals that you have. You know, some people get airheaded, or, you know, people don't train as hard because they know they've won championships. But if I don't hold any gold medals, to me, I feel like I'm not reminded of any of my championships, and I train like I've never won.
That's a great way to think about it, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
And you know what's funny? The people that, you know, I have a lot of respect for, and the people that I share my life with, I give my medals to them because I already powerlift. I don't need to remind myself why I love what I do.
Bingo.
But it's good for the people that I love and cherish who supports what I do. I want to let them know, like, hey, I appreciate you for keeping up with me and loving me. So here's my medal.
Let's do it on video. I think I still got it when I moved. I think I have it.
So every time you see my medal, you remember our friendship, and you always remember who I am, no matter where you are in your path, no matter where you are in your life, you know? Does that make sense?
Yep, 100%, bro. I feel the same way with like my clippers or like my haircuts, right? Like when someone comes in and it's their birthday or it's like a special occasion, like I try to give it away.
Hey,
do something, you know
what's that? Yo, bro. You powerlift?
Everybody asks me that if I do.
You got a medal? You powerlift or something, bro?
But see, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, like that's I've moved in. I forgot to put it up. You know what I'm saying? Like. It means so much to me because some people are looking like, oh, why did homie give you a medal? Like, I'm like, well, to you it might not mean nothing, but to me it means like the relationship and the bond that we've made all over these time, because he could have clearly gave that to someone else. Even in this video, people who are watching, this man gave me his fucking like $200 wrist straps the like fourth time I ever met him. Remember that? When we were back at,
just because I had an extra pair and you seemed like you needed it, so I was like, shit, just take it.
I was like, you sure, bro? Like, I appreciate it, but I mean, I can't do these. But these are some nice ass wrist straps, brother. And then he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and take them." And it mean even more because I got to train with somebody who I look up to, and especially in that aspect. Not even just that aspect, other aspects as well. But in that lifting aspect, especially at that time, I'm looking at James like, "Wow, this dude can lift like a lot more than me, and I weigh a lot more than him." You know what I'm saying? Like, this is some bullshit. But then you look at it, you're like, you know why? You see him in the gym training, not just talking about it. He's actually in there.
Yeah, and you know, I feel like people assume I'm like super genetically gifted in strength, you know, and the issue that people don't understand with someone who's genetically gifted is they can't reproduce what it is that they do, because genetics, you don't need to know, you just can't. So it doesn't matter what they do, they're always going to get better, right? But in order for you to reproduce your skill set to someone else, that is through training, that is through hard work. You can only reproduce yourself if you put in the work to understand what it took to get there. Does that make sense?
100%, yeah.
That's why, like, you know, it's really easy for a lot of people to get really strong off of just some of the stuff that I recommend for them. It's because if they put in the work, it's all in their hands, you know? The skill set that they learned, they've already done it through their hands, and all it is through work, through repetitive movements, through not quitting, through always trying to be the best that they can be.
Through investing in themselves.
Mm-hmm. Through investing in themselves. And so it all just kind of plays back to, you know, like, why you chose barber. You know, that's kind of what I think about sometimes when I see someone who's so good that I don't understand why they're that good. Because, like, you know, like for my brother, for example, you know, like, I don't know shit about cars. But he drive your car just for a little bit. He'd be like, I think I know there's probably like 3 things wrong, but let's fix the most cheapest thing first. And then we'll go on from there. And I'm just like, damn, you knew that just from driving it? I was like, shut the hell up, you know, like, how are you that smart? But, you know, I thought he was weird. It back too, yeah. And you think back to what you do as well, and you're like, oh shit, this is probably how people feel about me. Like, I'm just so weird or so out there because, like, I work so hard thinking that same mindset that I used to have when I was skinny and weak, right? That I don't want to do that. And that mindset is still with me after like 15, 16 years of training, right? But it's never left. That's why I still feel like I'm a skinny, small dude, you know? It's like a tattoo on my mindset that I'm just skinny and weak. So I have to continue training or I'm going to be weak. But at the same time, because you have that mindset, you know what I mean? You're just always improving and always trying to be the best that you can be. And when you do that, you know,
and you're doing it for yourself. You won't excel
exactly.
if you're trying to do it for somebody else. If you're continually failing, or not failing, but if you're continually not achieving something, but you look back at it and it's for an ex or it's for a person or somebody trying to get back at them instead of for yourself, it's not going to succeed the same or even as close to as good as if you were to do it for yourself.
Yep. Damn.
That's the shit, man.
Yeah, man, but is there anything that you want to say just off top, you know, before we kind of end this barbering session?
Well, I mean, for all these people, man, who watch this stuff, man, it's just take things that people do and make them your own, but learn from people, study different things, constantly grow, constantly change, constantly elevate, because life is change. Every day things change. Your attitude changes, your mindset changes, your body changes, and we only have a certain amount of time, so you might as well utilize that time to get the best out of what you're doing. And if another thing is, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, don't do it. You have so much opportunity and time and energy that you could be putting elsewhere, that could be helping somebody else's life, or that could be helping somebody else's situation, or helping your own situation, but instead you're working for money, or you're working for, you know, something because you're in a certain situation. Figure out a way to get out of that situation and better your life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because true happiness isn't money. True happiness is like self-understanding. You know, if you understand yourself, you'll be truly happy because you'll know what you want and what you need to do. And serve others too, man. So many people are afraid to give things away for free, or give time away, or give energy away, or look weak. If you're not weak in your head, or like look at Master Yip, right? Ip Man and Bruce Lee, like they were always humble. They were always, you know what I'm saying though? Like they were always humble. They were always good people. They didn't want to fight these other, you know, Sifus or these other masters who were trying to look good, right? Because that's the only reason they want. They want that title. But these guys didn't want the title. They just wanted to pursue their passion of Kung Fu and the passion of knowing oneself and educate people to be better so that they could feel the feelings that they're feeling. And that's all me and you are really trying to do. Is to spread the passion of passion.
Damn.
So like just to everybody, you know,
the passion of passion.
Straight up. Because I love barbering, but majority of the barbers that I know, I'd probably tell them to, you know, if they weren't so passionate, like if there was a new barber coming into it and I could tell they're not passionate, I'd tell them not to be a barber. Mm-hmm. Though I love this industry, I'd rather kick away somebody who has maybe really good talent but is doing it for the wrong reasons, and bring on somebody who is passionate and loves what they do, who can learn and grow, and is eventually going to be something better than someone who's just naturally good, or naturally, or knows, or has a little bit easier adaptive skills. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So we got someone else getting designs too. Let's do it.
Oh, nice, man. That's sick.
Let's do
that
this
looks
design
awesome.
too.
Yep. I appreciate it, man. I haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah, I
so
suppose.
appreciate it.
No, it's a good one.
Thanks. Yeah, that's kind of why I come here, though. You know.
Yeah.
This is kind of like my massage session.
True. It's kind of like that.
It is, though. I mean, when you hang out with people who, are, I guess, like-minded or trying to get better and just dab in their passions and stuff, and you get worked on them and just having that conversation, it's the experience that you're really paying for.
Yeah.
100%. I 100% agree, bro. And another thing is like, dude, when I do this, the amount of lives I touch without even knowing about it until they tell me or they bring it up or they post it, because not everybody's very vocal, but just to hear that somebody's life or mindset or something was affected because I was able to, you know, shed some light on a topic, or even just be here just to listen and then make them feel good, right?
Yeah.
And that's the whole lifestyle industry thing, to change the way people live, think, and feel about themselves and others by performing clean, confident, and professional work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to change the way your perspective is on the world, your lifestyle, by changing your image. An image in the sense of how you look and how you feel about yourself, but also to translate that into somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
You that badass. Man. You're hanging out with Bruce Lee.
Like I said, I wish, man. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Through clean,
that
confident,
was,
professional work. You know what I mean?
I like
It's-
that.
And it's like, you just need to figure out what you want to do with it, bro. It's not gonna come right away. Start doing something. Like Nike say, just do it. And then
Yeah.
eventually you're gonna start loving shit. You're gonna be like, wow, this is so cool. Or, wow, I'm able to affect so many lives. Or wow, I'm able to do this and that. I never thought I'd be able to do that
Yeah,
with
yeah.
this platform.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, man. That's like, this is like my favorite part though about like coming to get a cut from you. I already know the haircut's gonna be good, but it's just good that like, you know, I get to have a conversation with you and just kind of talk about my passions at the same time you talk about yours. Because sometimes when you just go get a haircut from a regular barber or just regular people, you know what I mean? It's hard to have like a genuine connection with the person that's like trying to, like you said, change the way you look, right?
100%.
So like, you know, just to hear you talk about your passion or why you understand what it is that you do when you do work, like it's really like inspiring and motivating. So that's like my favorite part of the haircut. Or I should say that's like an added bonus
I
to
feel
what
you,
I'm
I feel
getting, you know.
Yeah, yeah.